On August 28, 1963, Martin Luther King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech. In the crowd that day was a young publishing executive by the name of Frank Carr. He was neither African American nor part of the civil rights movement, and yet, on that day, he caught the vision Dr. King proclaimed would change the world. He also had an idea to offer paid internships to African American students, support them through university and into professional jobs. And so, in 1969, Rhodes was born. What started as an idea grew into a national program that has impacted thousands of families, nurtured the careers of hundreds of thousands of underrepresented minorities, and changed the lives of millions of individuals. I know because I'm one of them, a byproduct of Dr. King's dream. Rhodes gave me and many other minority students access to opportunities that otherwise would not have been possible. They provided a support network where my success was inevitable and instilled in me a sense of duty to one day pay it back. In my career, I've been fortunate to work for multinational companies all over the world. In 2004, this brought me to Australia, where I noticed that the organization I had worked for had no Indigenous executives. And so, with the support of management, I created an internship program for Indigenous university students that would mirror my experience as an Rhodes intern. While it was initially successful, my role took me back to London for a year. And when I returned, I found that the internship program that I had established had disappeared. Without the support network I had enjoyed, the program had fallen over. This was the opportunity to pay it back, so I decided to leave my corporate career and create a version of Rhodes that would enable Indigenous Australians to experience the same opportunities that were provided to me. The goal was to create a national internship program, independent from government funding, one that could be self-sustained for the next 50 years. The problem was being new to Australia. I didn't have any contacts in universities, no contacts in Indigenous communities, and no contacts in corporate Australia. I essentially knew no one. Whilst I had corporate experience, I had no experience running a non-profit organisation. I had no financing, there was no office, there was no staff, there was no real plan of how I would achieve my vision. The first thing I needed was to prove the model could work. I developed a business plan. I took it to philanthropists, and fortunately, they saw what was possible and gave me startup funding. As a result, CareerTrackers was born. It started with a small team in a small office in King's Cross, Sydney. We started making calls, we were writing letters to business leaders, and after much persuasion and a bit of reluctance, 9 agreed to take our first cohort of students. At the same time, we scoured universities in search of students willing to give our program a go. 18 signed up. That 18 grew to 125 students the following year and 300 the year after. Today, we're building the capacity of CareerTrackers to support thousands of Indigenous students across Australia well into the future. While this rapid growth was encouraging, we were surviving year to year. We knew that this was not sustainable. If we were going to build something that would last the next 50 years, we needed a bigger commitment from our partners. What we needed was a 10-year commitment. Again, we made calls, we wrote letters, and within 9 months we secured 10-year partnerships from 10 of Australia's leading employers. This commitment helped us build trust with our students, trust with their families, and their communities. It has spurred on 10-year partnerships with universities and community organisations across Australia and has made our 50-year legacy feel possible. What started as an idea in Chicago back in 1969 has created a global movement, one that has inspired generations of young people around the world to pursue opportunities that equal the playing field. CareerTrackers is enhancing the lives of our students, alumni, and their families, and preparing them to take their place as leaders within their chosen industries and within their communities. As Dr. King said, everyone should be judged by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin.